Ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it, man. And so that's why I say,
Yeah.
we got a lot of kids right now that's squandering opportunities, man, and they don't realize it.
Man, some of the best. I know you went on and you big Power 5 school, at Wake Forest and everything. But I bet some of those teams and some of those memories and some of those battles with maybe some local legends from another spot, they still ring out to you.
Always.
And they bring chills
Always.
the same way.
Always. Because you want to play against the best. It didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So back then it didn't matter where it was. Where we used to travel
right
during the summer.
Okay,
we get in the car 5. We take 5.
So
we go
quick,
wherever.
So real quick, who when y'all went like that? So real quick, let's get some flowers to some folks who but hold on, what? Oh, but who are some of those people that y'all bumped into, ran into, would go to war with? That you might remember. Just some people, they might not have gone on and been famous. So, but you and your crew knew that them boys right there, or that them boys.
Yeah, we used to travel to Chirac quite a bit.
Okay,
and we had some guys over there, Kenny Dixon, that played at a really high level. Kid about 6'4", 6'5", that played at a really really high level. Point guard. Oh, 6'4", 6'5".
6'4", 6'5", point guard back then.
Kenny Dixon back then, and Mitchell. Was a guy that played at Chirac as well. Played football for Clemson.
Okay,
but man, he was like 6'9", playing basketball and football. Really talented, man.
Ooh.
Really talented. Yeah. And then obviously we would come to Florence and we played a lot of Florence talent.
Right.
Tony Black, Russell Green, guys that Tony Black went to Wake Forest. Russell Green went to Texas, and so we played against some guys. Man.
That's what's up, man.
And then obviously we would come to Darlington. Being in Society Hill, it was hard to play in Darlington, man, especially if you wanted to get over there and play at Mayo. You had to fight. You know what I'm saying? You had to fight to get over there, man.
So check this out. When you say you bring it back to Darlington, right? So I'm gonna bring it back to Darlington in summertime.
All right.
At the center with the summer basketball.
We couldn't play at the center, man.
But some players and I saw y'all, because the gym used to be open like every day, all day.
Right. Yeah.
And it was hot.
Yeah.
And we stayed in there
all the time.
So I'm gonna tell you the people that I saw there.
Okay.
Bo Peep.
Always.
Tony Shaw.
Tony Shaw was there. Now see, those guys were a little bit older than me, but I used to tag along. I used to watch those guys. Those are the guys that, when I was coming up, those were the guys that I used to, when we would play Lamar and Tony Shaw and just watching him do his thing, man, and then watching him play at South Carolina, obviously, I was like, man, that's what I want to do.
They let me play on the team.
They let you play on the team?
Yeah, they let me play on the team, man. The whole season, man. The whole season I had 6 points.
They wouldn't let you shoot. They wouldn't let you shoot.
Yeah, I got to shoot sometime. Like if I cherry picked and went down on it.
Tony shot it every time, didn't he, man?
Yeah, he did.
Shot it.
You had to watch out.
David Brown.
Yeah, David Brown.
I forgot about that. See, I played with David.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, David was a senior when I was a freshman. Played with him and Larry Scott.
Yeah.
Randolph Taylor was there then, which was about 6'8", that played with us. James Bishop played with us, about 6'7". James Bishop went to Citadel. Randolph Taylor went to Eastern Kentucky. And so played with a lot of those guys. And then some of the younger guys, obviously, like I said, Larry was with that group that played at Coker. Randolph Scott was another one of my guys. Now, Randolph was from Darlington.
Yeah.
That we kind of connected once we made, once that consolidation happened, which is, Randolph is my brother.
Yeah.
And but man, we had some battles. Some battles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
battles then, baby.
It's your senior year. Basketball, high school basketball is over with.
Yeah.
But now you got a full ride. D1 school. On TV. Wake Forest.
In the ACC.
I'm asking, I was hoping for that. I was hoping Coach K was gonna call me, and that's why I was gonna go to Duke. You know what I'm saying? But it never happened. He said I was left-handed. He said I need to work on my right.
Yeah,
yeah. But how did that feel, man?
Let me just say, it was obviously an opportunity of a lifetime, man. Again, it's you're looking at all of your hard work and all of the things that you did along the way and the people that helped you, because it just wasn't me.
Yeah.
I got the opportunity, but man, I'm telling you, like I told we talked earlier, there were so many guys that was in our area in the neighborhood, guys that we played with that probably was better than I was. Better than I was.
Yeah.
And so I was the fortunate one of the group when I came out. And so there was a lot of pressure. I wanted to go and I wanted to represent all of those guys. I wanted to represent our area. And so in hoping that I would go and do pretty decent, it would allow some other guys
to come behind you.
Some other guys. So we'll send some other, college coaches to our area, bring them to Darlington because, hey, Mcqueen's doing well. It's got to be some more talent there.
And it is.
And it was. And so for me, it was huge, man. And so a lot of pressure because I wanted to do well. And like I said, I wasn't the best. I wasn't the best to come out of Darlington high school basketball wise. There were a lot of guys, like I said, Jerry Singletary, there's no doubt in my mind could play Power 5 basketball. It was just the time and place.
Right.
And it was just the time in which I came out and situation I was in versus the opportunities that they had. Okay. And so again, I just wanted to go and play well. And Wake Forest was my first choice.
What was your first choice?
I really, I originally wanted to go to South Carolina really, really bad.
What?
Yeah.
Really bad.
How we missed that?
And then after the South Carolina thing kind of went south, then Clemson was really, really next on the list. I was right there to committing to Clemson until I caught their coaches into some lies and some stuff.
Yeah,
it's like you're the only point guard we're bringing in, and so I found out by some other people and some other coaches like, nah, they just signed a kid yesterday. So I was going to commit the next day. It's like 2 days later, I was supposed to be committed. And I was like, man, nah,
exclusive.
Wait a minute.
Look at that.
Yeah, we're lying now.
So I really wanted to stay in the States. I really didn't want to go to North Carolina. I wanted to kind of keep it home.
Yeah.
I wanted to keep it South Carolina. I wanted to keep it obviously for my parents and just for people that I know, obviously a smaller ride, shorter ride. Okay. And so I wanted to keep it close, but I didn't feel the loyalty that I felt like I needed to have and feel, and I didn't feel comfortable with it, right there at the end. And so chose to go to Wake Forest and decent career. And I was too disciplined.
Okay.
I was too disciplined.
Explain that a little bit.
Hold on. I'm gonna get to it. Tell me the first game, the first time you about to play, because you started right when you walked in the door, right?
I started right out.
So tell me, who was the first game about?
I played a guy.
What team was it?
It was Mark. Well, one of my first games, it was like some exhibition games, but one of the first games was we played Marquette.
Okay.
And I can't think, his last name is Smith, but anyway, I played against a guy from Marquette, about 6'3", 6'4", wind up getting drafted by the Lakers, played for the Lakers for a while. Well, anyway, the week of, we was going through their team, just taking a look at everything. And so they had a point guard that was pretty good, but then this guy Smith was the 2 guard. Well, the point guard got in trouble, and so he couldn't play. So I wound up having to play against the kid. The last name was Smith. But anyway, he played at the Lakers. And man, he kicked me from the start to the finish. Oh man, he took me down through there, baby. He drugged me. And but I kept fighting. Coach said, you just got to keep fighting. You just got to keep fighting. You're going to be all right. And so the last play, and they always ran isolation. They was running pick and roll stuff. And I couldn't. 6'4", really explosive guy, could shoot the basketball. He's really good, man. Last play of the game. Okay. We were up 1. They got the ball. So what they were going to do, right?
Yeah.
They was going to give Smith the ball, right? So
isolation.
So wait, last play, I finally get the last play, steal the ball from him. We win the game. That was my first game. I think I scored 6 points. He had like 29. I think he had 29 and like 7 or 8 assists, like 8 or 9 rebounds. But really, really good. But but like I said, that first game was a game that I was like, man, I don't know if I could do this.
That's a great story, though, man.
I don't know if I could do this. And so we just kept fighting. We just kept fighting from there, man.
Kept on fighting.
I got a quick question, though. My thing is, you said you had a lot of people helping you get to that point, right?
Yes.
Are y'all still doing? Do you think they still doing that now, like to get people to that point where they can get to that D1 level? for like basketball?
Well, it was
in the high schools.
Well, I don't know. Well, for me, it was when I say I had a lot of people get me there. Jerry Singletary, man, used to come back every summer because he was playing at the college level, and he was the one. He'd be running in the morning at like 6 o'clock, and then he'd be running at night like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and then he'd play basketball all day. And so he was one of the guys that was like, hey, if you want to play at this next level, we got to do this.
Okay.
And so he kind of got me, going from a conditioning, just playing, and do you really love it? Do you really want it? And then from there, it was more so a lot of the drills and a lot of the things that he did, he brought home during the summer. And when I say we, I'm talking, Sean Grant, Stacey Burns, I'm talking a lot of our guys. We would take those drills and we would just practice. And so he would share stuff with us. And so he was one of the ones that kind of got it going for us, just from a development standpoint. The other parts and pieces was just just our community. Nowadays, and I'm talking to be a good basketball player, to stay out of trouble, to do stuff. Well, if I was down on Church Street and things were going on and I was showing out, what would typically happen is, people down the street, a lot of family or friends, they would keep me straight. They would keep me out of trouble. And so then they would call my mom, or they would say, okay, Derrick is down here doing this or that, or whatever the case may be. And I knew when I got home, it was going to be on again. And so they kept me out of trouble. So it was basketball was one part and piece of it. I think my community was the other part and piece, because it didn't matter where I was. They wanted to make sure that I was doing right. And so anytime I stepped out of line or wanted to step to the left from a discipline standpoint, I had people in the community, and my mom and dad was like, hey, if you see him doing anything, I want you to straighten him, and then you're going to call me, and then I'm going to take care of it. So that was another part and piece. I think I had teachers in the school, man, who took an interest in me and the academic side of it. And so they saw that, hey, this kid potentially or may have a chance. And so they took time out with me and helped me with on the academic side as well. They didn't give me anything, but they showed me things. They worked with me. They stayed over after school and anytime I needed that. So I think it's a lot of times when we say, we want to thank certain people, it's not just on the basketball side of it. It's bigger than that, because if the kids can't get their grades,
say that.
And we used to have this term all the time, no grades, no glory, no game. You know what I'm saying? You can't get, if you don't get your grades, you can't play the game. Obviously, there's no glory.
Yeah.
And whether or not that be in basketball, it could be sports, or it could be anything. And so we carried that all the time. And so I tell you, it was a total effort for me. And like I said, a lot of it was community. On the basketball side, even more so than what Jerry brought to us, Bo Peep brought to us and left with us, and the things that we practice all the time. We went to a lot of camps. My dad took me to camps and stuff like that, and helped me get exposure. And I had a coach, Jimmy Harrell, and short guy, loud guy, but man,
he was from Darlington too, right?
Yeah, he was at Rosenwald. He coached at Rosenwald, and man, he was the guy. And he will never say this, man, but I tell you what, I really believe this, and he will never ever admit to this, man. This man used to spend more time with us,
there you go,
the kids, than he would be at home with his family sometimes. And I think ultimately, I'm telling you, he got a divorce down the road. I swear, I'm telling you.
That's the reason.
I promise you.
Let's drop a bomb for him.
I'm telling you, man. He spent so much time and effort. I mean, teaching us things, showing us stuff, man. And so I got a lot of love for Jimmy Harrell, who coached us through high school and helped me along the way as well. So again, it was a total effort, not just on the basketball side, but in the classroom and just me in and around the community and out and people seeing me. And if I was going to the left, they would say things. And so now today, what's different is that if you say something to somebody as kid today out there in the streets, now mom and dad, instead of them saying, yeah, you're right, and I thank you. Well, now mom and dad, they want to get with you. They upset with you for saying something to their kid. You know what I'm saying? Different. And so it's totally different era than what it was, when we were coming along.
It is.
I got something for you.
Okay.
January 21st, 19. think it's 89.
Man, he got days. He got the days.
I'm gonna show you how this play a part of my life. I'm gonna show you how this play a part of my life, though.
Okay.
Don't think it's just all you.
Okay.
Oh,
I thought it was all about me.
I'm gonna give it back to you. Hey, I'm gonna give it back to you. I was just playing with you. But January, like I told you, like, you know, we from South Carolina.
yeah.
My dad's a basketball fan.
Right.
You know, Derrick Mcqueen is playing.
Okay.
Wake Forest is playing.
Yeah.
Okay. Number one, Duke comes to town. But y'all was in Greensboro, right?
We may have, I think we were at Duke.
Yo, okay. I thought it was
It was
Greensboro
December.
too.
It was
Okay,
December 21st.
I thought it was January.
December.
Okay.
I'm gonna believe Derrick about that.
Yeah. December the 21st.
But Danny Ferry.
Hey, that was a bad boy.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
He probably one of the reasons why I didn't like Duke that much. Because
Christian Laettner was for me for a while.
He came right after Danny Ferry though.
Yeah,
Danny
he did.
Ferry was
He did.
like early, you know.
But Duke's on fire.
Hey. Danny Ferris
They
from
were
New Jersey.
number one.
Yeah.
That's probably
They were number one.
Duke's number one.
They were number one.
You know, and they was on one.
Yeah.
To that night.
Yes, sir.
20 points, right?
Yeah.
How many rebounds? Yeah.
But I've always played good against Duke. Always, every year. Freshman year, the 21st, I had.
That's right. Knew there was something about him.
Yeah, look at it. So I had 21 at Duke. This was my freshman year
at Duke, giving it to
in
him.
Cameron.
Work.
And I think we lost by 6. I think it was. I started cramping up towards the end.
No, you didn't lose. So how many times did you beat Duke?
So we beat them We beat them every year. We always beat them at home every year.
Okay. Now,
So the one you're talking about is the one we beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 20 at Greensboro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the next day, shoot, you on ESPN.
The good old days.
You on ESPN a lot.
The good old days.
You know who else had a good? Mookie Blaylock had a good game that night too.
Yeah.
But
look at it.
you was on ESPN, but you my favorite because I can remember when I saw the strip. I had to go back and look at it.
Yeah.
And I had forgot about Mookie.
Yeah.
I ain't seen him in so long.
That's right.
But then I seen that on there too.
Yeah.
And you gave him the business, but I know you're gonna say we gave him the business.
We did.
Okay. Now I remember because I'm in Kansas then, right?
Right.
So I seen that happen. Next day I wake up. Oh man, y'all saw my cousin last night.
Your cousin?
That's right. Y'all see my cousin last night.
That's what's up.
He did it to Duke. I was a Duke fan too.
Right.
He did it to Duke fan, man. You know what I'm saying? But just
I believe he did that.
But just to see you get off that night, I could just imagine the inspiration it was for the little kids that's playing basketball every day in Darlington. Yo, he from Darlington.
Yeah.
With a play. We noticed last night you had on a pair of spot bills too.
Look at you.
Yeah.
You know what? We had Saucony's. We bought Saucony's.
Not
Saucony's. We had a Saucony's contract.
Yeah,
Saucony's.
They were bad.
Okay.
See, you had me wrong.
They were
See,
bad.
they look like spot bills in the picture.
And I agree with him too.
Yeah. We was looking. We was looking.
Saucony's.
Saucony's.
Yes,
Okay, it was
sir.
one of
They changed the name. They was spot bills back then.
It was spot bills, then they
Like
changed
it-
it to Saucony's.
it had to be. Had to be.
It had the same symbol.
Okay. So that was good. But you go on, solid player, all 4 years, started all 4 years. I think you got team MVP 1 year, right?
I did.
Okay. After that, I'm gonna tell you the room I always heard, right?
What's that?
I heard you got out of you finished up at Wake Forest, went to the Bulls.
Tried
out with the Bulls, and but Jordan was there.
Jordan was there.
Who was the point guard? Because we were talking about this last night.
Well, I think B.J. Armstrong was there.
You could have took BJ's spot.
But I don't think I did. Here's the deal. They wasn't really looking for a point guard, I don't think. Because let me tell you who else played with them at that time. JoJo English was coming out at that time from Columbia. And he went to University of South Carolina, played at Lower Richland. So it was a height. I think, me being 5'10" and a half, those guys 6'4", having to guard some of the people that I was potentially going to have to guard, I think was a shortfall for me.
Okay.
And so it wasn't the fact that I couldn't play and perform, which I showed them I could.
Yeah.
But I think, with the way the Bulls was playing at that point in time, I was going to actually be caught guarding a lot of two guards with the way things were. And so it didn't work. You know, I made it all the way up to the last cut, didn't make it.
That's cool.
And I had an opportunity to go cross seas. You know, one of the things I said when we was talking earlier, I said I was too disciplined.
Yeah.
You know, I was one of those guys that, you know, in high school I was freewheeling and played, and high school is always different than college. But I just played, you know, and at the college level things changed a lot. You know, you're no longer the guy. You know, you're giving the ball to the guy. And when I say I was disciplined, I had guys come in like a Randolph Childress that came in, and the coach would say, run this play. And Randolph just kind of did what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And, you know, the rest is history. I mean, because he made the coaches change what they were doing because of what he could do. And so for me, what I did was what I went in, I did exactly what they asked me to do, period. Yeah. I didn't step out. I didn't say, no, I can do this. Or, and I didn't show them a lot of times that I could do certain things. So therefore they didn't allow me. So I kind of like played in a box. And so I was so disciplined was that I played in this box, and this is what the coach asked me to do. This is what we need to be. This is what I need to do for us to be successful. And so that's what I did.
Okay.
And so a lot of times I feel like, you know, I'd be thinking back and I'd be like, man, I should have just did what I know how to do. Man. Just play my game. Just did.
That's amazing.
And so, you know, again, and so I so often, you know, think about and look at some of the kids today, and some, or they're very disciplined and they do exactly what they're supposed to do. And you got some kids that just go out and just play. And it just would appear a lot of the times, and most of the times, that those are the guys that make it. They just go in and they just play, and sometimes they would appear to be not as disciplined as some of the other guys. Okay. And man, you got some talented guys out there that are just very disciplined, that probably should be playing at the next level that's not. And then you got some guys that's playing in the league right now that they just went in and they was like, you know what, I'm just gonna let it all hang loose, and it is what it is. And those are the guys, you know. And Randolph Childress was, you know, I played with him, you know, 1 year at Wake Forest. He came in my junior year, which was his freshman year. And so that's one guy that I always looked up to. It was one of those deals where he would, we'll call a play and he would be in the game, and he would see something else and he just shoot it.
That's cool.
And sometimes he make it. Most times he made it. Yeah. And so once he made it, the coach wouldn't say nothing. So then he just kept doing it. Right. Yeah. He just kept doing it. And so it was one of them deals where, hey, after a while, the coach was like, hey, I'm just going to let him do it.
Shout out to Randolph.
You know?
But you played with another great one, too.
I played with a couple.
Oh, man.
Rodney Rogers.
I played with Rodney Rogers. Rodney Rogers was one that he just demanded a lot, man. Yeah. And he was a guy that we wanted to get it to. I mean, just the respect, man. He was not just a good basketball player. He was an awesome guy. You know, Randolph, I mean, and Rodney and I talk probably to this day right now. We talk at least once a month. Nice. And, you know, he's paralyzed. He's no longer playing, but we talk at least once a month. And about 2-3 years ago, he was actually going to come down and talk to my basketball team. And so we had put together a nice little spread, and then he, you know, we didn't get it worked out. And so we talk now just to make sure all is well with him, and hopefully we can get him down to talk to the guys. And so I got some clips of us, you know, when he was in college, obviously, and then we got clips of him when he was playing, as he played in the NBA. Yeah. And so a part of it was, you know, we was gonna, you know, have the kids see that video, and then we were gonna bring him in actually in that wheelchair. And so because, you know, now he's confined to a wheelchair, so
I could just see him. He get the ball on the break. It's over. Even from Wake Forest, even to Denver, when he played the Denver, right?
Yeah.
Played a couple
stops. A couple stops.
I've seen with San Antonio too, right?
Yeah, man. I've seen that kid 6'7", 6'8", do some things. I'm like, there's no way. Yeah. I mean, there's no way. I've seen this guy do some things, man. But awesome guy, not just an awesome basketball player, but awesome guy as well.
That's cool. That's cool. We'll drop a bomb for the guy.
Man. Deek's got some legends, boy. You got some legends. Yeah, man.
So the name of this podcast is Real Talk what?
360.
Real Talk what?
360.
So we're gonna bring it on back, because this is a whole 360 what I'm trying to get to right now.
Okay.
Now you're back in town.
All right.
Back in schools. Just know I was gonna see you on the Darlington High bitch coaching. Who better to coach than to me? I know you humble, than Derrick Mcqueen. But it didn't happen. I don't know if you want to get into it or not, but it didn't happen.
Let's get into it a little bit.
Why you ain't coaching in Darlington?
You know, when I first came back, obviously working with Sunoco, I started to work in corporate America. Had just gotten back. I played cross seas for about 6 years, and injury ended my basketball career. And so came back, got a job with Sunoco, toured a little bit, did some things different places. But anyway, came back, and so was asked to coach. And so I volunteered some time for a while, and then even after that, stayed on for a bit and coached, and really enjoyed it. At first, I was like, I don't really want to be a coach. You know, I wanted to be more of a trainer. Just get the kids, train the kids up, you know, give advice, show the kids the right way, you know, and share my experiences more so than anything else. But, you know, then even more so than that, when I actually started coaching, I was able to get into the schools a little bit more and see the grades and kind of see what was going on. And so that was really what, you know, I was like, man, I really want to do this, you know, because our kids at that point in time, we didn't have an idea. We didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
What it took, not just on the basketball court, but in the classrooms. They didn't understand what the commitment and the sacrifices was all about. And so again, I wanted to come back and share my experiences with the kids, and what better way than through the game of basketball. And so wanted to coach, actually coach with Darlington for a while. And so for a while I was coaching waiting. And so, you know, I was told that at some point I would get that opportunity to be the head coach at Darlington. And so, you know, I can't be upset because, you know, things happened during that time. I learned a lot, but things happened, and you know, coach said that, you know, he was going to step down at a certain time. And so he changed his mind. And so he's got a right to change his mind. So I'm not upset that he changed his mind or anything like that. But man, I really, really wanted to coach at Darlington High School. And so some other opportunities came up. And so, you know, Wilson,
I know that's right.
Wilson called. And so I had the opportunity, you know, it's been 10 years now. So 10 years ago,
10 years that you've been at
shout out to Wilson.
It's well
smart.
It's 10 years. I coached, started back in 12. I got the job back 2012. And so it's been 10 years that I've been over at you know, over here in Florence, coaching and teaching, and now as the athletic director.
Okay.
Look at that.
Congratulations on that.
Yes, sir.
So check this out. Went to the state championship back to back.
Twice.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Couldn't bring it home.
Tell me about that first year.
We were excited. Obviously, you know, people didn't believe. You know, when I took the job at Wilson High School 10 years ago, there's always a lot of noise in the system, and some people didn't believe we could have the guys be successful, and it wasn't just basketball, but we could just be successful. It wasn't. I don't know if they didn't feel we could be successful, or they didn't feel that Derrick Mcqueen could build a program that could be successful. And so I think it was that, because Wilson always have talent.
Yep.
And people know that, recognize that,
and support.
And so I think it was more so, can Derrick Mcqueen come in, no head coaching experience? Yeah, he's played at a high level. Yes, he's done some things, but can he coach, and can he, you know, put a team together that would be able to contend year in and year out?
That's crazy, because I'm gonna get back to it, but didn't we just say he went to Wake Forest?
Mm-hmm.
And so that meant he was pretty good in high school, right?
Yeah.
And then he went to Wake Forest. Then he went and played overseas for 5+ years, right? And then somebody's gonna question whether you can coach high school basketball. Okay, proceed.
Yeah, that was. And so you know, but you know, there was a lot of people too who was calling and saying, "Hey, we need to hire this guy." You know, so I had a lot of people support, but obviously there was a lot of noise in the system too. And so for me, it was personal at that point in time. I needed to prove to people that I could bring a group of kids together and we could be successful, not just on the basketball floor. You know, I wanted my kids to. Everybody can't go to college and play at the next level, but I wanted to make sure we got 100% of our kids graduated.
Bingo.
And then obviously we wanted to be the terror on the basketball court that you know, I was. and I felt that I was. And so, you know, when they say most teams are an extension or a direct extension of their coach. And so I wanted to come in and kind of set the tone. And so, you know, we came in my first year, the first year I was the coach at Wilson. We finished, I think it was 13-10. And then the second year we were, I think we were 13-13. And then after that, it was, you know, we was off and running. And so 2 opportunities. And I'll just say, you know, I take the blame for both of our losses in the state championship. I think our first year, I really felt that we should have won. We had a lot of talent. We had a lot of talent, and I think, you know, I potentially, you know, made a couple of bad calls just from the standpoint of, you know, me and the referee got into it early on. I felt like we were there. I felt, you know, they had a referee reffing the games that typically ref the other. I don't want to call the other team's name, but that referee ref their regular season games during the regular season, and then now this ref is reffing the state championship game. And so I felt like, you know, our league should have done better with that. You know, you bring neutral referees in that has no connections with anybody. And I felt like we got some calls, and I felt like they were trying to cheat my kids. And so the natural reaction of a dad or a parent, because at that point in time, I tell my kids all the time, I'm your daddy. On basketball season, I'm your daddy. We gonna do it this way. This is how it's happening. And so I felt like we had gotten some calls that wasn't calls. I mean, they were bad calls. And so I felt like because this guy knew the people in this other, you know, of the other team, and there were other connections, and so I felt like we were in for a long night, and so I felt like I needed to say something, and so once I said, you know, hey, you know, don't cheat my kid.
You're killing us.
You know,
you're killing me, Smalls.
You know what I mean? And so when I said that, you know, and obviously what happened was we started, you know, he started making calls, and so I think we got the short end of the stick. So for me as a coach, I felt like, and just as an adult, I felt like I hurt our kids. And so I definitely take the blame for that, for the first one. The second one, we wasn't supposed to be there. You know, we didn't have the talent to compete at that level.
Wow.
But we were able to, as a team and as a group, we had a lot of discipline issues. Our second run for the state championship, we had a lot of discipline issues. We suspended kids. You know, kids weren't getting their grades. Kids were doing things that wasn't what we as a program wanted to put out there. And so we had challenges the second year, but yet at the end, we were able to put it together.
Got hot at the right
Nobody,
time.
you know, teams that beat us during the course of the year, I mean, beat us by 15, 20 points during the course of the year. And then, you know, we at the end, we're there. And then we get to the lower state and everybody says, no, they're not going to win, you know. And we even had some people from Wilson. We you know, the Coliseum wasn't packed like we normally have it packed now. Now that first run, man, we had people in, you know, the Coliseum and in Columbia, we was nothing but purple and gold. And so we didn't have a lot of support our second run. We was out at Florence Coliseum, and it wasn't, there were more people, there were people from the other team. I don't want to call the team name. There were more people from that team was there than what it was. And we were here in Florence. And so again, there was a lot of people, there was a lot of noise in the system, and nobody felt like, okay, they're not gonna make it.
Man.
And so we were able to put it together. And so both were special in their own way, but probably the second one were more special because we wasn't supposed to be there. We had 6 kids that could play. We had a team of 13, but we had 6 kids that probably could play, and yet different games, different times, different kids.
Oh, that's fun.
Stepped up and did some things.
Some good memories.
And so for me, probably the second one of the 2 was probably more special just because we had less to work with, and because those kids, they reached their full potential and probably stepped outside of themselves in several cases and situations, and man, they performed.
Okay.
And so that was probably the second one was more special than anything.
So not only did you take the boys to the championship, you brought your daughter too.
she was there as well.
Hold on, I'm gonna tell him the story. Now I'm getting back to you. Now he was in the championship, right?
Coaching.
Right. His daughter was in the championship playing. So tell us about that.
Oh man, it was nerve wracking.
Double Mcqueen.
It was special, but it was nerve wracking because while her game was going on, I'm trying to get mentally prepared for my game.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm out there, and I should be in the back with my kids, and she's out there playing. I'm standing in the tunnel, and she's going. Things are going, and so it's definitely for a father to be there, to be a part of, whether it be a son or daughter, to be playing in the state championship before you, and then for you to be coaching afterwards. It was definitely something special. Obviously a bond that she and I shared and talk about quite a bit, and how special it was. And so unfortunately we both lost. But
y'all won, man.
But we both was there, and we were there together, and we enjoyed it.
Okay, now she leave Wilson, and then see what Darlington lost when she went over there, man.
Oh yeah,
see what Darlington lost.
Oh yeah, she could have been.
So she leave. Yeah. Okay, she leave Wilson, and now she's sophomore season now, right? Or junior?
When she?
I'm talking about right now. She's in college right now. Sophomore at Georgia Tech.
Yes,
and she's doing great.
She's doing okay.
Tell me about that, Pops.
That ACC connection.
I don't really want to get into that much. But let me just say this. Let me just say this, because me as a coach and then as a dad, there are things that I see and I always want to say, and I question, or whatever the case may be, and so I don't want to get her or put her in those situations.
But she's making you smile.
But she's doing well.
That's what's up.
And so we're proud of her growth. And so we talk all the time about not worrying about what people were saying and what people say, where we come from, whether the people from Florence or whatever. Go and do your best, period.
Yeah.
And let the chips fall where they may. And so I will say that we've been very fortunate, very blessed that she's been put in a situation to go in as a freshman and to average about 32 minutes a game, 32 out of 40 minutes a game our freshman year. And they just started the season this past week, and Tuesday and Thursday they won both games, and she's again averaging about 32 minutes a game.
Chip off the old block, huh?
So we're blessed. I'm blessed. I'm just blessed that she's getting the opportunity to experience what she's experiencing, and so I'm trying to be a good dad at this point. I'm trying to put the coaching hat down, and I'm just wanting to be a good dad and just support her in whatever ways we can.
She just like her father, coming as a freshman, starting. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, she's a little bit better. She's a little bit better than me.
Yeah, man.
You know I like your basketball game, right? But her J better than you.
Oh, man.
She can shoot the J, and she can go inside and dish the ball.
She could do it all.
Yeah.
And I think when I started training her early, a lot of the things that I didn't do well, I wanted to be able to show and help her and teach her. And the one thing I said is that, it didn't matter what nobody said, you could put that ball in the basket, because we all want to see people put that ball in the basket. And so when we started training and working, that was one of the first things. We got to be able to put that ball in the basket.
She has your height, or she's taller?
She's about my height. She's 5'7". She's about 5'8".
Okay.
She's about 5'8".
Salute.
But that was the one thing, and then the next thing was just being able to dribble the basketball. I said, if it's hard to stop any player if they can handle that basketball. They can handle that rock.
That's the key.
And so for me, the shooting was one, and then we started out 2-ball drills. Most kids start out 1 ball at a time. We out of the gates early. We started
2 full-size basketballs,
2 mini-size basketballs.
2 mini-size.
We started we started when she was 5, and let me just say this: I thought she was really bad. My oldest daughter, I started training her when she was 3. When she turned 6, she said, "Daddy, I don't want to play basketball no more." So that really, I was like, whoa. Yes. So then it was like, I was like, man. So I told my wife, I said, next kid, if we have another kid, girl, boy, I'm not going to put basketball on. Not going to do it. So I was shooting one day. This is my youngest daughter. I was shooting out in the yard one day just for me, for exercise. She came out and she said, "Dad, I want to play." So we was just shooting around really bad. I thought it was really bad.
She was 5.
Yeah, I thought she was 5. I thought it was really bad.
Trying to shoot in a 10-foot goal, though.
Yeah, she was really bad. So about a month later, Pearl Moore from Florence, obviously, she would always have her girls' camp at Wilson. And my wife says, "Are you going to take off and you're going to take Loyal to the camp?" And she was really bad. I was like, "Nah." I said, "I'm not taking off." I'm not taking off. I said, "You take her and drop her. I'll pick her up every afternoon, but you take and drop her." Well, needless to say, like by that Wednesday, we're getting calls and texts on our phones. And they'll be like, "You're not coming out here to see Loyal?" It's like, nah. So they was like, "She's really doing good." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What?" I said, "Who's calling you and telling you this?" It was like, "Man, she's killing it." So I was like, she said, "You gonna take off?" So it was like Thursday. So she said, "You gonna take off and you gonna go see it?" So I was like, "I'll take off at 12. They usually play the games and stuff like after lunch, right? I said, "I'll take off at 12. I'll get over there about 1 and I'll watch her." Okay. So I'm thinking in my mind, whoever's telling you this has no idea about basketball.
Right.
So when I get over there, they were doing like hot shot, free throws. Like she's making her baskets. I'm like, so she win a couple. So then later they play games. And so like she was really killing it. How old she was 5. So she's like really killing it. So then they wound up putting in the All-Star game with the older kids. And so they let her score. She scored in the All-Star game with some of those kids. Well, Heather Macy was the coach at Francis Marion then. Heather Macy came over to speak with the kids like that day, the day before. Well, then she came back the next day. And she was like, "I really want to talk to Lawyer McQueen's dad." So I'm thinking, okay, really? So anyway, we talk. She says, "I want Lawyer to come to Francis Marion individual camp like in 2 weeks." So I was like, this kid is 5, man. You really? I mean, and this is like 9th. This was like high school camp now, 9th grades. And she's like, "Yeah, I wanted to come to the camp." So I took her to the camp. And this whole time I'm like, okay, I'm wasting money. I'm gonna sit here, for 2 days because it was like a weekend camp. And she got over there and she really did good. And so when we finished that camp, when we got back home, I said, "All right, you really want to do this?" She was like, I want to play. I was like, I said, "I'm gonna give you a couple of days." So we would talk every day. I say, "Now, the commitment is different. You got to give some things up. You can't go to the mall with your friends, or you're not gonna be able to do all that stuff all the time." I said, "You really want to do this?" She was like, "Dad, I want to play."
At 5.
We started at 5. Man. And when we started at 5, we started with 2 balls. We started straight out with 2 balls.
Two mini basketballs.
2 mini basketballs.
I'm going to get me another mini basketball.
And then we started getting at it. Yeah. Then we just got at it. And so from there, man, she just went. And then, we started playing. She always played up. I never let her play with her age group.
That's what my partner Super Sam told me.
I always made her play. If it was 4th graders playing, she played with the 5th graders.
That's what he said.
Then I had a friend of mine. He had a little boy that was her same age. We would train him, work with him together. His name's Tion Steele. And I started making her play against Tion's son. And so we started doing that. So we would work them out and then we make them play 1-on-1.
Oh, okay.
So and then from there it just kind of go. But we started to get that from there, and then we just started training, and then it got hard. I was like, we gotta get up, and at 5:30 we gotta be in the gym at 6. So for that first probably 2 weeks, she wasn't really digging it. But after them 2 weeks, it was like every day we in the gym at 6 o'clock. She was going to school. I was dropping off at school. She was like in the elementary school. So I would be dropping her off at school. But we'd be done before she would go to school at elementary. She'd be done, got 2 hours workout in. Ooh. And then after school, we was going at it. So we did that all the way up. We've done that. I mean, we did that all the way through school. Wow. So when high school, middle school, we got up. We was in the gym at 6 o'clock. And so, a lot of people don't understand
Put
what it
in that
is and
work.
what kind of work. And still, even with that, with all of the work that she's put in, she still got a long ways to go. Still ain't there.
So salute to her.
That's cool. Salute to you too, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Dad.
Now, present day. Wilson High School,
Yes, sir.
the biggest, predominantly black high school in the world, Craig.
In the world.
In the world. I think like
Yes,
a million people that went to Wilson, man. Even people who don't go to Wilson talking about they went to Wilson.
Tradition.
Man, they got a license plate.
Tradition.
Certified.
The only high school.
With a license plate.
Certified.
It's big time.
You the athletic director.
Come on now.
Honor comes to mind first.
Right on.
Athletic
That's an honor.
director. Responsibility.
Yeah.
Now, so you schedule things for kids to be successful.
We do our best.
We
do our best.
That's
first. That's first. It's funny you said that. We just had a winter sports meeting Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday, I got back Thursday. We had a winter sports meeting. So a part of that was typically I meet with all of the parents and kids for our winter sports. So we just kind of talk about just code of conduct stuff, just what the expectations are and all that stuff. And I just sent an email out this morning just talking to the parents, basically just saying, here's what the expectations are. Academics first, discipline, just kind of going down that line. Because, sometimes I think we get lost with the wins and winning on the court, on the surface of choice versus the total kid.
Winning in life.
And so for us right now is what's most important is that we work on the total kid.
Yeah.
It's got to be the total kid. And so we got to teach our kids how to be successful. We got to teach our kids how to represent themselves. We got to teach our kids how to be confident. And so we got to teach them how to lose. And so how to react when we lose.
Yeah.
And it's not all about winning all the time. Yeah, we want to win. Do I want to win? Yes.
Yeah.
Who want to win? Nobody wants to win more than me. But I talk to our kids all the time is that we got to also learn how to lose. And then when we lose, okay, what are we gonna do now?
Man.
How do we get back?
How do we get back? And so just trying to teach them how to be successful in life, man. And because we all gonna go through something. Something is gonna happen. We're gonna go through something. And so when we go through that something, how are we going to bounce back? And so a part of it is teaching the kids how to bounce back from certain situations. And so we associate Wilson obviously with the history and the tradition of winning.
Right.
And so and we want to continue that, no doubt. But we want to make sure that we're continuing that in the classroom and with the total kid as well. And so that's what I enjoy most.
That's for sure.
So, my fault. I was all right. That's fine. He definitely get them applause. My question is, Derrick, to know what I know of a athletic director, you're in charge of all sports, right?
Yes.
Okay. Was basketball your first love for sport that you wanted to play? Because I want to keep the theme of how 360 was, because we spoke to other athletes and they said another sport was
football for me.
Football. Okay.
I played football. Football for me. I did it all. Obviously, when we were younger, Sean and I did it. Stacy, we did it when we were young. I used to average like 3 touchdowns a game. Got in. This was coming up through rec leagues and stuff like that.
Okay.
Did it at the middle school. We won. Scored. I was scoring 2-3, touchdowns a game. And then we got to, I think it was 9th grade. We got 9th grade. We played freshman. I think my freshman year, we went 9-1 at St. John's. We lose to Myrtle Beach, and then after that, I stopped playing football.
Hey, Sean.
Huh?
Derrick here talking about how he used to play football. You told me. I ain't brought it up yet, but I know what the running back he was. But he's talking about how good he was in football.
I told you what. Running back, cornerback. I told you what.
Did it all, baby. Two-way player.
Hey, Sean.
Offense and defense.
He was best running back on our
to
team
back
and
then.
cornerback.
Hey, Sean.
Right then.
Sean. Now, when I call you, right? I need some more energy than that. Put the clippers down. I didn't tell you the boy
make
talking
that money,
about,
baby.
Yeah, tell the homeboy to hold up. You at the barbershop?
Yeah. I'm winding down.
You winding down.
Yeah.
So tell me about your boy on the football field, because I didn't talk basketball all the time.
I bet. Well, all honestly, we saw all of us together at Red. And we came to Dalton. I think that was blue and tennis, not blue, but blue and Crip. So we came to the team, and it was me, Derrick, and another guy. Y'all probably know him. Name was like Eric Woodson. So we came, we came to Dalton, and they been losing. Then when we got on the team, it changed everything.
Yes, sir.
High school, we at Rec.
This was Rec.
Huh?
Okay.
This was Rec.
Yeah, right. Changed everything. And then there was a good cornerback and running back now.
Oh, okay. What was this you played?
Yeah, I told you, huh?
What was this you played?
I played. What did I play my first year? My first year playing, they had me on offensive line.
Yeah. Then he went to he was a defensive back.
Yeah.
He played like safety, more safety than anything else. He was the one that at the end always running in and jumping in and trying to jump in the middle of the crowd and stuff. So that was the rec league was definitely good stuff. We used to travel from Society Hill to Darlington every day to be able to play. That was because we didn't have anything in Society Hill, so we had to travel to Darlington.
Yeah. Okay.
Get it in, baby.
Well, Sean, we was calling you, right? And we thought you was going to bring a whole lot more energy.
What do you want to say?
But we about to let you go because we about to wrap this up. You didn't make the cut today.
So
hey, I apologize.
Well, you ain't gonna.
I apologize.
All right, we might call you back one day. Peace.
So,
all
right, Sean.
So, coach, so that was the end of your football career.
Yes.
And did that make you step into basketball, or was you a two-sport
Well,
guy?
I was already two-sport guy.
Okay.
But after my freshman year, my coach, Jimmy Harrell, called me in and he said, okay, this is my freshman year. He said, you have this mail from football, which was about 4 or 5 letters I had gotten from football. And then over here, I had like 12 or 13 from basketball. So he was like, you want to continue to do both or you want to concentrate on one or the other? And so at that time, I told him, I said, I want to play basketball. I said, I want to put all my time into basketball. And it was like early on because I played some AAU basketball and stuff like that. So I had a chance to travel my 7th and 8th grade year. And in the summer going into my 9th grade year. And we had a travel team out of McBee. We didn't have like 10 and 15 AAU teams like they got right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We had one, and that one basically would represent the best kids in this area. And when I say this area, it'd be Florence. We had kids from Chirac. We had kids coming from Chesterfield. We had kids from all around, kids coming from Columbia. And so you really had to play to make this team now. And so from that, I made that team. And so I was traveling all around. And so from that, people started to see me play. And so by that time, like I said, I was getting my 9th grade year before basketball season started. My 9th grade year, I had already had 10 to 12 letters where people were saying, hey, we're very interested in you. Mm-hmm. And so then after that, obviously they pulled me up to varsity. And so I had a chance to, I think my first big high school game was we played against West Florence. So we played against Tony Black, who went to Wake Forest, who had a bunch of offers and stuff, but wound up going to Wake Forest. Russell Green was on that team, obviously, went to Texas, played at Texas. You had Nance and Nettles, which were 2 guards that was on that team that played pretty well. And then they had a guy named, what was his name? I can't think of his name. Big kid that played down low. I don't remember what his name was. But anyway, that first game, David Brown was playing, Larry Scott, all guys who was going to the next level to play. We play against West Florence, big game. At West Florence, they cheated us.
Oh, goodness.
They cheated us, okay? So at the end, the clock goes out. So game's tied, clock goes out. I think game was tied. We score. They come back down, they score. I think they hit a 3, so they're up 1. We're getting the ball going back the other way. Plenty of time on the clock. It was a little more than 6 seconds. Well, by the time we take the ball out and get it back in, the clock goes out. They killed us. They killed us with the clock, man. So we lose to West. It wasn't all bad. We lose to West by 1. Well, at that time, because it was so many guys in that game that college scouts was already looking at, there was probably 8 to 10 college scouts there that particular night. Well, then that night, Wake Forest came down and got my information. Started talking to my coach, like, hey, I like this kid.
Nice.
So the rest was history from that. But that was probably, when I actually kind of, I don't know if you want to say broke onto the scene or people started to know who I was and started to see it was like my 9th grade year.
That's about me.
There you go.
That's a good word.
Yes, sir.
About me.
Word.
Yeah.
Well, man, before we end this, want to make sure, did you have anything else that you want to ask the brother?
Let's see, man. Obviously, you were in the ACC.
Yes, sir.
That was what was local, to a lot of people. So, had family members. We just had fans, even over in Marion County, even though you was over there. But local legend
Over here.
Yeah. Who I want to say during that time, who would you say was probably one of your toughest opponents during your ACC days? I know you played a lot of different ones, and they were all listen. I'm talking about from Bobby Hurley. Of course, everybody know him. But was there somebody who did you play against? Kenny Anderson?
I did.
Tell us about that.
Kenny was probably the better of all of them. I played against Kenny, played against King Rice, Hubert Davis. I played against John Karate at Virginia during that time.
Yeah,
definitely. There was no comparison. Kenny was the quicker. I didn't feel, when he came in his freshman year, I didn't think he could shoot the ball very well. But it just would appear every time we played him, he shot it extremely well.
Because you told him people he can't shoot.
Like, this dude can't shoot. I just got to keep him out of the lane, right? So
you
but then he started burning us. He was killing. So Kenny by far was probably the better. Bobby Hurley, early on, Bobby Hurley was a guy who was a really, really good defensive player. And he just, gave the ball to,
he was
the guys. He was surrounded,
Great distributor.
And so his senior year, he started to show people he could score a little bit more and do some more things. But Kenny Anderson was just probably offensively for me, because when I got there defensively, that was one of my things. It was like, you're not just going to come in and score on me any kind of way.
Right.
I know the hype, you know what I'm saying? But you ain't, no. He was probably one of the ones that came in and I was like, all right, okay, you're pretty good. okay, Kenny, you all right.
Yeah.
So Kenny was probably one of the better. Chris Cocciani was really good at.
I remember him with Rodney Monroe. At NC State.
It's funny. This was funny, man. We was at NC State. This is we were all, and when we were going, this was at halftime. We were going to the locker room, right? So Cocciani and Monroe, they get into, I wouldn't say an argument, but it's a little disagreement.
Oh, okay.
So Cocciani came down. The whole first half, Cocciani was giving him the ball, and he was missing. He was missing.
Yeah, because Rodney was the shooter.
He was a shooter.
He was a shooter.
And Cocciani was giving it to him. And they also had Gugliotta, who was really good.
Yep.
So anyway, he was giving Rodney the ball. Rodney was missing. So we were walking to the locker room. They were walking to the locker room. So Rodney comes up to Cocciani and he says, "Hey man, I need you to keep giving me the ball. I'm getting hot." So Cocciani's looking like, "You're getting hot." He's like 1 for like 12. And he tells Cocciani, "I'm getting hot. Keep feeding me the ball." But needless to say, I think he ended the half for like 3 points or something like that. He ended up with like 33.
Okay. We say that to say.
He was like, no, you keep giving it.
Yeah.
So that was just one of those. We used to enjoy playing against them, man, because he was just funny.
Yeah, that was battles.
I think Sam Cassell came into the league. Charlie Ward, Sam Cassell.
You also saw the. So you at Kenny Anderson, Brian Oliver with Dennis Scott.
I played with Brian Oliver, Dennis Scott. I played with those guys as well.
That
Brian Stiff played at Virginia.
Brian Stiff at Virginia. Yeah.
So
Man.
it was that thing was loaded when I was in there, man.
And when you came, was J.R. Reed that still?
J.R. Reed was at Carolina.
Come
Yeah,
on,
like I say,
man.
King Rice was there.
King Rice.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was big time, man.
Wow.
It wasn't a night off, and I think that was the first time that I really realized I was like,
The ACC,
man, it was like every
loaded.
Night.
Even Clemson was good, right? Because
Clemson
they had
was good.
Dale Davis and
Dale Davis,
Eldon
and
Campbell.
Eldon Campbell was there. Ricky Jones. Ricky Jones was probably, and most people never got a chance to see Ricky Jones play at a high level because he was injured. Played at Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Jones was the best player in the state of South Carolina.
See,
Ricky Jones was the first player.
Baby. Ricky Jones been saying that to somebody.
Jones, I'm telling you,
probably been saying that. This
is the only dude that I know that could shoot with his left hand and right hand.
Oh,
he could shoot with his left hand and right hand,
like from the perimeter.
Yes, sir. He was the only. I've never seen anybody else do it, man.
That's cold.
And where he was from?
He was from Pendleton, South Carolina.
Okay.
And went to Clemson, South Carolina. He went to the University of Clemson.
Come on.
And he was hurt, man. And I'm telling you, he was the only guy that I know ever that could shoot jumpers from the perimeter with his left hand or right hand. And I'm not just shoot them now. I'm talking make jumpers. Make jumpers, man.
That's right.
Left or right hand. And like I say, he never, because he got injured so early in his college career, man, nobody ever saw the real Ricky Jones, man. He's probably one of the better ones. But I played against a lot of good guys, man.
Christian Laettner.
Yeah, Christian Laettner was
that
that
Grant
dude.
Hill too?
I played against Grant Hill. Matter of fact, we beat Duke at Wake Forest. I stole the ball from Grant Hill. Bobby Hurley didn't play. Okay. Grant Hill was playing the point. And they was up. We made a couple of plays, but anyway, I stole the ball from Grant Hill back then for us to win and beat Duke.
I like
a lot of Duke fan in here.
But I like the fact that a lot of his game winning plays been on the defensive side of the ball, though, man. Yeah. I like that. I like that. Yeah. You defensive side of the ball, some game winning plays.
Because the defense was good, man.
Because he's from Darlington.
Well, now see, I was a little bit different. I wanted to show people I could put the ball in the basket, but again, I was too disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't do more than what they asked.
That's what I always said.
Derrick, I need you to come in. I need you to run the team. I need you to do this.
Yep.
That's what I did.
On this side of the floor.
Right. You do this, you do that. That's what I did.
Yeah.
And I always, to this day, I say, man, that was my downfall.
He wanted you to be the floor general.
I should have been hard-headed.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Just go, I'm going to do that some, but I'm also going to show you I could do this too. And I never did that.
So is that your advice, or that would be some of your advice to the youngsters?
Well, I think my first advice would be
remain coachable.
You got to always remain coachable.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that we got to do is obviously we got to accept our role when we get to the next level.
Yeah.
Within accepting your role at the next level, what is most important, obviously the academic stuff is important, but as a player, what's most important, you have to go to and be in a system that is conducive to your skill. You can't go play slow down basketball when you want to get up and down and run. And if you're that type player. And so you got to go to a school, be in a system that is conducive to what you do.
Okay.
A lot of times people say, well, yeah, you want to go and do that. You shouldn't have to think about what you're doing because you're in a system that's conducive to what you're doing anyway. A lot of times we as players, we start thinking too much because now we're trying to do these things that the coach is asking us to do in a different system. Then now we're thinking too much and now we're screwing up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now everybody says, oh, he's not or she's not as good as what we thought she was.
And they're not even being themselves.
And so they got to go someplace where they're going to be themselves, play their style of play. And I think, other than the academics and all of that stuff, you got to do that. And then the next thing would be is you got to have some type of relationship with your coach.
There you go.
A lot of times the kids go places, they don't have a good relationship with the coach.
Mm-hmm.
And they go into situations and now they can't go into that coach's office and say, hey, coach, whatever it is. And so I think that's a challenge for all of them. So, again, obviously academics is first,
right?
Because it's bigger than basketball and because at some point we got to put the ball down, but you got to go someplace where they're going to play your style of basketball.
Okay.
And so when you do not, you are not yourself.
Yeah.
And you're not playing the type of basketball. And so I think that's always a challenge for the kids.
Well said. But I was just that's right. I want to add on, but you got to be fundamentally sound though too. You
do, and I think that's the difference. Let me just say, I think that's the difference in South Carolina basketball and New York basketball.
Right.
You know, we get into that conversation a lot too.
Man, we got to have them back.
Look at that.
That's a whole different conversation. That is.
Yeah. So the fundamentals is definitely big.
Yeah.
It's definitely a big.
I mean,
thing.
something as simple as being able to handle the ball with both hands.
Got to.
Nowadays, you got to unlock it with that.
You got to.
Yeah.
You got to.
Yeah. So that was my question or questions. Sorry, I know we was rapping, but
no problem.
I like that.
All right. And you, Toriano?
Only question I have is, mine's more of a coaching question. Is it any kids players that you saw that really had the potential but didn't really fight for it, or like wanted to go to that next level, or saw something that probably held them back?
I've had a couple in our program that kids that should have been at that level. We've had kids to transfer into Wilson that, you know, they come and they be like, man, we want to play at the next level because they've seen what we've done and we want to be a part of it. When I coached for 7 years, that was one of the things. We had kids transfer in. It was like, hey, I want to play at Wilson because, you know, I used to have on coaches when coaches would come and they would watch our kids practice and they would watch what we were doing. They would be at the games and they would do stuff. And so kids, it was the first around here. You know, the coaches were coaching, but they wasn't having college coaches coming to the practice. I would say, don't just come to our games, come to our practice. I want you to see how our kids are preparing every day, how hard they work in practice, what we're doing. And so we did that a lot when I coached. And so we had kids a lot, man. I've had several kids, I don't want to call their names, but that man could they could put the ball in the basket, but the other piece apart was we didn't get the grades. And so for our kids now, that's why we talk a lot about, you know, you can play and people can say all these things about you, but we got to take care of business. And so a lot of times right now, the kids are not taking care of business in the classroom. You got kids that's not, you know, attendance is not where it's supposed to be.
Just coming to school.
You know, just coming to school whenever they want to come to school. And again, you know, you just can't be successful like that. So I think it's not just what we see on the basketball court. Is there other parts and pieces that we, the community and people, need to see before we start talking? Because a lot of times people are talking in the community and they don't know what's really happening.
Yeah.
And they're and that's all you hear. And I'm sitting back, I'm thinking like, they have no clue.
None.
They're just talking. They have no clue, no sense of what they're talking about because it's bigger than that, you know? And so, you know, again, I watch high school basketball and I'm sitting in the stands more times than anything. And I'm listening at people talking. I'm like, don't get it. We don't get it. So again, I think that is, but yes, we have kids around here, man. We've got kids I've seen, not just at Wilson, not just at Darlington. I mean, and I'm just calling names, but it's everywhere. I think we've got some talented kids in this area. And I just think that we need to put some emphasis in some other areas. In addition to the basketball stuff, we just got to put some emphasis in some other areas.
So we need to bring back what you stated earlier about how things what's going on with you.
Yes, it's totally different. Yeah, the community. It takes more than just me or you to raise a kid. I'm just telling you right now. I mean, we can say I'm raising my kid, but you think about how much your kid is actually around you. If they're in school, if they're school-age kids right now, think about how much your kids are actually around you. They are around.
Not the sleep hours.
Yeah, they are around their teachers and their coaches and their principals and people like that more than what they are around us every day. Now, hopefully, you know, from the time they born to 5 or 6, we've instilled some things in them, and we're hoping and we're praying that they're still doing those things. But you know, again, they're spending time with a lot of people, so it takes a lot more than just us. You know, it's
exactly.
Everybody.
That's it.
That's how we get down.
Yeah.
But we don't want to go there with you today. We would love to have you come back.
No, I would love to come back.
Because that's how we get down. Yeah. But if we go to that right now, that's a whole different podcast.
I understand.
You know what I'm
I just want to give you some flowers. And knowledge, you know.
But you know, I appreciate it. Yeah. I appreciate having you. You know, you can always come back over here, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me just say, man, it's an honor. It's an honor for you guys to have me on, and you know, I appreciate what you guys are doing.
Appreciate it.
And how you're serving the community and the things that you're doing as well. And so anytime I'll come back anytime. Anything I can do, you let me know.
Okay, I want to call your coach out too.
It's all love.
That's what I want.
Which one?
That's why I want him to come over here too. Carlos Powell.
Yes, sir.
And we need him to come over here and talk about that dog
Let's
work.
do it.
All right.
He'll love that.
Tell him he have an open invitation
we'll
too.
do that. I'll get him your number.
Okay. I just want to tell you, man, I'm glad that I'm from the town that you from. I'm glad that you was my cousin that night you hit 25. I've been using that ever since that. Yo, my cousin played with Wake Forest. Derrick Mcqueen's from Darlington.
Right.
You know I'm from Darlington. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
And I just hope that I just want, especially the kids to know now that you got an established person that played at the level that you're trying to go to, and he live in the, like I tell my son, you know, I told him about you, Derrick Mcqueen. He played college ball. He lives right over there. Orlando Hudson, he played Major League Basketball.
That's right.
He lives right over there.
That's right.
And all these people is from Darlington.
Right.
And I'm gonna do my best to push it so you have no excuse.
I agree, man. But let me just say quickly. I know we ended, but it's funny how you could have that. Orlando, who has done what he's done. I have played at a level. I've got a daughter now that's playing at a high level. And man, I used to tell people all the time, I do free stuff, and you got people don't take advantage of it. You got, when I used to train my daughter, man, work my daughter out, I would invite kids to come work out with us. Come work out with us. People wouldn't take us up on it. And so I oftentimes find that they are taking the advice of people who has no clue. And they're putting their kids in situations, man. And so you can't tell them any different. And so it's just funny that we have an Orlando Hudson who is here and around and who is very available. Guys got plenty of money, very available. You see him around town. He don't have bodyguards or anything. You can walk up to him and talk to him. Nicest guy you ever want to meet. He'll do whatever if you ask, and so we don't take advantage of that.
And he'll answer your text.
That's why I say so. We just need to take advantage of things like that, man. We need to, and I know he's busy and people are busy, but man, we've got great resources that we don't take into account.
What you doing tomorrow?
I'm headed to Atlanta.
Oh, because I was going to drop my son off after that.
baby girl got a home game tomorrow. I'm headed to the A, baby.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure we watch that tomorrow, man, too, just to support.
Headed to the A.
Well, man, I think I gave you the whole flowers, though. Ain't nothing left in there.
I appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing, baby.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
And I'll see you again.
Yes, sir.
And for all y'all don't know, it's Real Talk 360. We on every Saturday. We switched to YouTube now, so we're gonna be on YouTube probably at 1:19. It's gonna come on at 1:19 on Saturdays. Thanks for the support, and we out of here. Hold on. Got me nervous.
We out of here. Hold on.
Can't leave yet.
Yeah. Intro/outro.
Open your ears and listen, direction for your ambitions. New narrative, this the community coalition. Drumel, Corey, and Dory here for the intervention. We've been letting it slide for too long. Here on not no more slipping. Unity in our communities is how we rise up. Empowerment to self, knowledge as well. Let's wise up. No more fighting as individuals, we municipal. Change the forecast, this the podcast to listen to. You got a vision, we got a vision, let's make it visible. Say we gotta fight for our rights, well then enlist me. All bite, no bark, real talk 360.